we're moving on to the digital simulator now. There's two types in this particular unit with me. We've got the stone ridge on the top and we've got the Siemens on the bottom. The most common one is the Siemens, which is the bottom one. So we're going to concentrate our time on this particular one and how to put a card in and how to take a card out. So first of all, we need to have a card. So the card goes in, as you can see on the front of it, you've got your photo and so on. There's a chip on the reverse of the card. So the card always goes in, chip up, facing forward. So we slide it into slot 1, which is underneath the screen with us. So we push it in, a little bit like cash bundle machine, and it will swallow the card for us. It then go through the menu system, which will give us the welcome and confirm the date and time for us as it's going through. So it'll come up with our name on the card, and it's just writing all the information onto the card now as it's logging itself in. It'll come up then the last time we've used our card. Then the next screen it'll give us will be do we need to make a manual entry, which will be no, because it'll be the first time our card goes in. So we scroll down to no with a menu on the toggle system, which is the down button. We confirm it by pressing OK, and then we're on the main screen. So if we look where number 1 is, just above number 1 we've got the cross hammers, and if we look over to it we've got a black box which is showing at the moment, and we wait for the black box to come up with a picture of a window above which is saying our card is fully workable in it at the moment. Above that then we've got the time. Then moving across we've got a round circle with a dot in it which is telling us the machine is operational. Then carrying on going across we've got our speed on there, so if the vehicle is moving we'd have our speed, and coming down to the middle which has got the 533 which is the total mileage of the vehicle, and then moving across just above the number 2 it's showing a square for us which is period availability for number 2, but because you haven't got a card in number 2 we won't need to worry about that particular one. So if I come back to the toggle switch, if I just push it down once from the main screen, the next screen it'll give me is on number 1 with a circle, total driving of what we're doing at that particular time. Coming down below that, we've got another number 1, the 2 thin lines, which is giving us our fortnightly driving. So you're aware of we can drive 90 hours in a fortnight, so that'll give our previous week and our current week as we go along with it. Moving across, coming back to the top, we've got 2 thick black lines, which is giving us our break, our cumulative break, so it'll count our breaks as the day goes on through the day.
What happens, Paul, if I take a break of 12 minutes, which is not a qualifying period?
It wouldn't qualify then. It'd have to be
doesn't count it.
No, so it'll have to be a 15-minute or above for it to go across.
Okay.
Moving down from there, whatever mode we're on the main screen, it'll show that there for us. At the moment, because we're on cross hammers, because this would be the time that we don't have a walk around check with the vehicle, it's telling us we've been there so far for 2 minutes. So if I push the button back up, we come back onto the main drive screen then. So if I needed to remove any of the mode switches, what we would do is press the number 1. So if I press number 1, it'll go across to brake or rest. Push it again and it'll go across then to period availability. And then back again to cross hammers. So if we attempted to put speed on it now, that symbol will change to the drive, which is the only one we can't select with the mode switch because it's the automatic bit on it.
Same as an analog.
That's it, exactly the same then. So if we put a little bit of speed on it. So if we're looking across now, we can see we're travelling at 125 kilometers at the minute, which is slightly quick.
It's a little fast.
Yeah, so the reason why I've done that is so we'll have an overspeeding event coming up on it, which will take us a minute. So for those issues that we have when the vehicle's running downhill, maybe getting away with itself, the way it's pushing us downhill. So when it decreases more than a minute, it'll come up with an overspeeding offence, and I can show you how to get rid of that particular offence then. But if we're looking down above number 1 again, you can see we've got the steering wheel there, or the round circle with a dot in, and that's telling us that the vehicle is in drive mode at this, so it's counting our driving time as we're travelling along with that. So if we go back to the main menu system or the toggle switch, if I scroll down 1, it'll give number 1 total driving at the minute, which is 1 minute, and then it goes across that cumulative break so far, which is 0 because we haven't had anything. And coming down then we've got number 2, which is POS, counting the dead time in slot 2 then, because obviously there isn't a car there, so it's just accumulating the time of what's happening with it. So we can see now the overspeeding offence has come up. So to clear the overspeeding offence, we press OK once to confirm it and once again to clear it.
If a DVSA man was to see that overspeed offence, could I be prosecuted for that?
No, you wouldn't be able to. You'd have to be caught for speeding to be done for speeding in this country.
Right, so you physically have to catch me on a camera or something.
Yeah, so those static cameras and so on then. So I'm going to slow the vehicle back down to bring it back to a 0. So So we're happy now. During the day we change the mode switches to a break, and then so if we've done our full shift to this point, we come to the end of the day, we want our card out now. So it's on other work because we've stopped. So to get the card out, I would come down to the eject button, which is the one below alongside number 1. So we press that. It'll come up then with your name, and it's writing all the information that we've done for the day onto the card at that point. Come up with an end country, so UK is flashing because we're UK based. We're going to confirm it by pressing the OK button.
So I've only got an option of UK.
No, if we were doing European, we could then change it into different countries, which we'll move on to a little bit later on now.
But I wouldn't put the start place like Swansea or
no, it'll
London.
be UK to UK
It's
then.
UK,
Yeah, so
okay.
unlike your older ones. So then the next question is asking me, do I want a 24-hour day printout? So realistically, we don't need one. So it's flashing no. So we're just going to press OK, and out comes the card.
You mentioned printouts there, Paul. When would I do a printout?
So if my card was lost, stolen or damaged,
Right.
I would need to make a printout at the start and at the end of the day.
Okay.
So do you know how much time we've got to report a faulty card if we've had a faulty card or a damaged card?
I don't, because this is not something I've used.
Right,
before.
so there'll be 7 days we've got to report a faulty card.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can carry on using one for up to 15 calendar days then
So
without
that's
the
similar
card.
to
Yeah,
analog
very, very
tachograph.
similar then, yeah.
Yes.
So we'd fall into that scenario. So
Who do I report it to?
you'd report it to your employer,
Mm-hmm.
the police, and the DVSA as well then for a new card then.
Yeah.
Okay? But when you get employed with a company then should obviously take a copy of your card, so you've got record of your number and so on and so
same as
forth
the
from that
driving
side.
licence.
Exactly the same
Yeah.
then. So moving on to that particular scenario then, if I was to drive a vehicle without a card, so we've done the reporting,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got permission now to drive it for up to 15 calendar days without the card, whilst we're waiting for a new card to turn up. So what we'd need to do then is take a printout from the vehicle. So by taking a printout from the main screen, we're going to press OK, which will go automatically into the print menu for us. So the first one it offers is a printout for driver 1. So there's no point asking for that because there isn't a card in the head, so it won't give me any information. So if we scroll down to driver 2, same scenario. So we scroll down to vehicle printout, that's the one we need. We're going to confirm it by pressing OK. It'll then ask do I want a 24-hour day, which is yes. So we're going to confirm with OK. Then the date will come up for today's date. So we're going to confirm that date by pressing OK. Then the printout will come up in UTC time. So do we want it? Yes, we do. So I've pressed OK, and what it'll give me now is a printout before I start the vehicle.
Okay. And do I have to do anything with this printer?
Yeah, we're going to fill the reverse of the printout out. Very similar to an analog tachocard then.
Right.
So what we would do then on the reverse of the card, or the reverse of the paper then, we have got a few blocks there, and we'd fill in the blanks. We put our name in, our card number in, registration of the vehicle,
If I've lost my card, how will I put my card number in?
because you'd have the copy of your employer then, wouldn't you, of the number. So the card number is what you'd want then, yeah? It'd be, if we didn't have the card number, we could put our license number in
All right.
instead then.
Yeah, okay. Driving
Okay.
license.
Yeah,
number.
that's the one.
Yeah.
So we'd carry on driving then as normal throughout the day. The problem we're going to have, because we haven't got a card in the head, once we put a bit of travel into it, it'll come up driving without card then on the actual screen. So to get rid of that, we'd be doing the same system again. OK once to acknowledge it, and OK again to get rid of it. But every time we stop and start, that problem will keep coming up, so we'd have to press the OK twice. Or we could leave it to the end of the day and clear the code at the end of the day if need be. So we'd carry on driving using the same mode switches as before. And then when we come to the end of our day, we'd come to the stop. And then from that point then, we'd go back for the print menu, which you're going to be pressing OK. Scroll down to vehicle printout, confirming it. It'll come up with our date, so we're confirming the date. We want the printout. So this printout now is actually telling us from the time we took it over this morning. So from that point up to the point of finishing, it'll give us our total work of what we've done with the vehicle.
So in effect, the first printout I did is just evidence to the DVSA man that I started work at that time during the day.
That's the one.
At the end of the day, I do a second printout
Yeah.
which shows him all my duties.
That's
for that
it.
day.
So all it'll be, the only thing missing off the printout would be your card number and the details of you as a driver, because that wouldn't be there because the card wouldn't be in the head.
Yeah.
So we'd sign and date that one and staple the both together. And that's our record for the day then, and we'd keep that up to the time which you said before and hand it in after that period.
Okay.
Happy with that?
Yep.
So whilst we're on the paper, if I needed to replace the paper, we've got to carry a spare roll on us, or at least have availability for a spare roll. So if it runs out, it will give us a warning. And plus, as the paper runs out, it'll change colour on the end. So you'll have a edge that'll come on it, giving
like
us a separate colour.
type.
That's it, yeah. So you see the red or the green.
Yeah.
So to replace the paper, we push the button on the end of the drawer, which will allow us to open the drawer. And the paper cassette will open, and our paper will come out like so.
Okay.
And then we replace it with a new one. And just by replacing it, we just drop it back in, close the drawer, and it'll spit the waste out for us. So we just tear off the waste, and then it's back as it would be as a flush screen. Happy with so far? Now, so as an example for a manual entry, if I've come to work and I've turned up and my truck isn't there, maybe still in service, so I need to go and collect the vehicle from whichever dealership it's in, you tell me, can you slip down in the car with X to go and pick up the vehicle when I get there, because I signed on at 7 o'clock in the morning as an example, and it's now 7:30, we need to fill in that void on the card.
And that would be the same if I had to load the vehicle before I went out.
Exactly, yeah.
Put my card in first,
Yeah,
then load the vehicle.
and that would be it, yeah.
Okay.
So as before, the card goes in like so. Now when it comes to the manual entry screen this time, we're going to then say yes to it rather than no, and then it'll go back to the time of when we took the card out, and we can carry on from
So
that
that'll be
particular
sometime
period.
yesterday, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we've got there now is telling us last withdrew on the 30th of the 9th, do you want a manual entry? So the answer is going to be yes. So what will happen then, if you look on the screen itself, we've got the bed or the brake flashing with us. So what we're going to do now is change that to other work, because you've been travelling in the vehicle. We're actually in work at this point, aren't we? So we're going to confirm that. Then it's coming across the time. So we're going to just scroll the time up. Scroll the time down to the point of when the card was taken out. And we're going to confirm. Then it's going to tell us what were we doing at that point. So we're going to, same again, change our mode switch to other work, confirm it, and then scroll the time up as it got, confirm. Then it's asking us, are we happy with what we've just done? So the answer is yes. So we confirm it, and it's asking us, are we starting in the UK, which would be yes, and that would be the manual entry. So we just filled up the void then in the card at that point.
So if I'd started some loading the vehicle, we'll say,
Yeah,
and then I had a tea break, I'd make a second manual entry to cover that tea break?
right. So you've got to your vehicle first.
Yeah.
So have you put your card in at the start?
I put my card in, and I'm doing a manual entry because I've been working in the yard
Before the vehicle?
before the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to say that I started work at 7 o'clock,
Yeah,
but I didn't get into the vehicle until 9 o'clock.
right, okay.
So at 7 o'clock I started work.
Yeah,
I did an hour's work. Then the lads had a tea break, so I joined in with that.
Yeah.
15 minutes,
right, yeah.
and then I started work again.
So with the gap in between, what you do with the card with the manual entries, you can obviously fill all those voids up now. So we're going to do it on screen this time now. Okay, so the card goes in. So I'll go through all the usual stuff now. So confirm our card and so on, up to the point where it asks us to run a manual entry. And this time we're going to say yes to it. So tell me, I last withdrew my card on the 16th of the 9th. So do you want a manual entry? So we're going to say yes instead of no. So we're going to confirm it by pressing OK. Then it's telling me from the 16th of the 9th, 16 at 14:58 until the 30th of the 9th, 2016, were we on break up to that point?
Yes,
So
that
we're
was a
going to
rest
say,
day.
yeah. So we're going to say yes to that. So it's confirming then the 30th, which is what today is. So it's giving us the option of pulling it back one day if we want now, right? So we're happy with the 30th because we were on break up until this point.
Yes, it's this morning I started with that.
Right, so we're going to confirm that through the date. Now it's coming across to the time. So I've got 10 o'clock flashing now.
Yeah.
So we can pull that time back, because this is the one we need to pull back now. Back.
That's it.
Until the
I started work at 7. Yeah.
So if we pull that back to 7 o'clock then. So I've got 9, 8, 7. And then if we confirm that, it'll go across to the minutes then for us. So it's at 14 at the moment. So if I go back to 00, 0, so giving us 7 o'clock. So we'll confirm that. So it's telling me now, 30th of the 9th, 2016 at 7 o'clock, till today's date again to 10:14. So what were we doing? So from 7 until 8, you said we'd do another work.
That's right.
So we were loading vehicles.
Yeah.
So we're going to change the mode switch, which is flashing at the moment of break, to other work, which is the cross hammers. Then we're going to confirm that section again. So we're going to go across to the time. So I'm going to pull that down to 8 o'clock. I'm going to confirm that. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to leave it go at 8:14 this time now, right? Just to round it off for us.
Yeah.
So we're going to confirm that. So it's telling me now, from 8:14, because we filled the void up for that other work, from 8:14 to now, what were we doing?
15 minutes or so out of break there.
So it's 8:14 at the moment. We're going to say we're on break.
Yeah.
So we're going to confirm by pressing OK. The screen is flashing again, so I'm going to pull that back to 8 o'clock. And I'm going to press OK to the minutes, and we'll go to 8:30.
8:30.
At this point. So you've had your morning cup of tea then.
That's it.
So it's on 8:30 with us, so we confirm that particular one. So it's going from 8:30 now, because we put that break in of 16 minutes. It's going from 8:30 now. What were we doing from this point on?
And then it's other work until I just got in the vehicle.
Right, so we're going to scroll up to cross hammers again, which is on the toggle with us. So I've got the X showing, 30th of 9th, 2016, up to 10:14, sorry. So we're going to confirm the time. That's the time we inserted the card into the head unit then. Yeah. So the next thing is asking us, are we confirming that the manual entry is correct?
Yes.
So we're going to press OK. And we're starting in the UK.
Yes.
So we're confirming, and that's the whole manual entry procedure then filled in. So what we've done is pull the card back to start time and fill the void up. Now reminding yourself then, that's all been written onto the card, not onto the head unit.
Yes.
So this is your card, and we're putting all the information onto our card to keep a complete record for the driver, for the person who's in at that particular time. Yeah. Happy with that?
Happy with that.
Excellent. So moving on from there then, we've been stopped. So we're driving down the road now. We've left our yard at 10 o'clock, and we've gone down and gone an hour down the road, and there's a checkpoint out in DVS here, then they pulled us in. So we get pulled in, and the officer asks us for a printout. So how we get the printout is by pressing OK from the main screen. Obviously the vehicle's on stop at this point, handbrake on, ignition on. So we press OK, we'll come to printout for driver 1, so that's the one we need. So we're going to confirm. Then it's confirming what type of printout we need. So we want a 24-hour driver card day, which is the one it's offering. We're going to confirm OK. Then today's date comes up, which is the one we're going to need. So we're going to confirm it by pressing OK. And then the printout will come out from the paper cassette then. So we're going to print one off. So this is what Mr. Bosa is going to see of us, the DVSA officer is going to want of us. So do you think they'll probably keep one of these?
Well, I was going to ask, if it was an analogue instrument, which I've been used to, I'd ask him to sign the back of the chart to show where it's been out, etc. What would I get here?
So what we're going to want now are 2 printouts.
Okay.
So we're going to ask them to sign one, so we can retain it and give it back to our employer when we go back. And they'll obviously keep the one to check the records themselves.
And they'll probably want me to sign that.
Yeah, so we'd sign the bottom of that one. So that's all we will do then. When the first printout comes out, it's still on the print menu with us, so we just press OK again for the date, and we confirm it again to say that's what we want, and we'll have exactly the same printout coming
exactly
out.
The same.
So we're going to sign one to give to the officer, and then the officer will sign one to give back to us. So that's our evidence. We stopped at this particular time. And the information I took from the vehicle as well. Then. Now if we needed to go back into time at this point, or back in days on our card.
Because he wanted my record for yesterday.
So maybe if there was a problem with today, and he thought this might be reoccurring, what could happen then? He might say, I want yesterday's printout on you. So whilst the screen is still flashing us at the moment, because it's flashing today's date, back onto the toggle, we just scroll down, and that'll go back in the times of whatever we've used the card. So if we did use it yesterday, that'll give us that date. So on this particular one, if I scroll down one, it's come up with the 29th of the 9th, 2016, because it's the last time this card was used. So we could give that printout, but it'll go back with whatever's on your card. With yourself then, so as the driver then. Happy with that?
Happy with that, yep.
So to go back out to that...
Do DVSA have a card that they can put in there?
They can then. They've got their own card then. I'll go one on the back here. You put it on a safe. So they'd have a control card, and they could insert this particular card into the head unit themselves as well. And if they do that, a mark will come up on the printer as well to show that symbol.
So there'll be a symbol on their servos or a DVSA officer.
That's it. As taking data off the machine. Plus then we can check to make sure that the card is in date as well at this point. If it wasn't in date, the card wouldn't register when it puts in. You happy with that side of it?
Happy, yeah.
Okay, so moving on from that particular point then, if there's a problem with the time, so we need to adjust it. Now, if the time was out by 20 minutes or more, we'd have to legally then get it adjusted because it'd be an infringement or a fault then.
Okay. Can I do that?
No, but I'd have to go back into a calibration centre then to have the time pulled back with the calibration card then.
So is that something I put in the defect book?
Yeah, we put on a defect book, hand that back to the employer, and then the employer would take that problem on and get it dealt with from that point. But as you're aware of, we've got UTC or BST then as well in Britain. So we can move forward that hour and come back an hour every 6 months.
Yes.
So with that one, we can adjust that time on the screen as well. So the way we would do that is pressing OK. And then we scroll down till we get into entry vehicle. So entry vehicle, we confirm it by pressing OK. And then we scroll down until we get to local time. Once we've got local time, we confirm it by pressing OK. And we'll have two clocks flashing now at this point. The first clock is 10:22, which is above the number 1. And then the clock on the other side is showing 10:22 with a black dot, which is the time we can change. So we can change the face time to run with our time of the country we're in at that particular place. But the machine will only ever print out and record in UTC time regardless. So we're only changing screen time with that.
Would it be okay if I just left it on
Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem at all. Then.
Yeah.
We could leave it in UTC all the time. But if we were to change it, so if we're going to bring it forward an hour then, we just scroll up on the toggle and it moves in half-hour blocks, and it'll only allow us to move in half-hour blocks. So if we move it forward an hour, it's going to 11:23 now rather than 10:23. We're going to confirm entry stored. So that's stored the main screen as well with us now. So if I push the back button, which is the arrow to the stop on the scroller, and then it'll come back, and then the time then is 11:23 on the screen, and it's got a black dot alongside it telling us that we've changed time. So if we've got the black circle there, it's telling us the time that's showing is not UTC time, it's a display time instead.
Yeah.
Happy with that side of it?
Yeah.
Right, so if we do European work as well, so we're allowed to do a ferry movement, aren't we? So we're allowed to board a ferry and disembark to a ferry. That's it. Over how much time can you use to do that?
It's got to be a regular rest period.
Yeah, which
so
is?
I'm talking 11 hours.
Good man.
Yeah. And I can make 2 interruptions.
Yeah.
And it must not be more than an hour in that interruption.
Good man.
Yeah.
So to get the ferry mode, so all these digitals have got ferry mode system in it as well. So to go through that, we press OK to confirm. We scroll down to entry vehicle again. Confirm it. And then we scroll until we get to the ferry/train screen that'll come up.
So I can use that on the channel tunnel?
Yeah, as well then coming across. Okay, so it's any crossing on that side then. So we're going to confirm. So then it'll give us entry stored. So we press the back button until we come to the main screen again. Now looking at the main screen this time, if we look above the number 2, we've got the period available, and just above that we've got a symbol of a boat there. Looks like a couple of boxes on top of each other, but it's supposed to replicate a boat. So what that's telling the machine that we've put it on to ferry mode. So the analyst now will be looking for the 2 movements on or off within that time period then, which is an hour. So we don't put it back on after we put it on the once. We put it on the first time to put it into mode, if you like. So when we start moving, so the movement on to the ferry then, if you like. And then when we come back to a stop then from that point, the ferry mode will disappear off the screen, then it'll go back to the clock.
Right.
But what is told the analyst, the people that obviously analyse all information, that I've put on a ferry, so we're looking for up to 2 movements, not exceeding an hour in total, going on and coming off on that side. But we don't need to go back on to knock it off, it automatically cancels itself off That's all we will do then, is put ourselves back onto brake when we get onto the ferry, and then whatever the length of the crossing is, and we drive back off or put it back on brake and finish.
And provided there are enough hours in that's acceptable to Mr. DVSA.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we're on the other side, so we're down in France. So we're going to park up in France tonight now rather than in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So when we finish our card, we're obviously not going to say we're in the UK now. So there's a menu to go into to change the country of where we park up or stop at that particular evening. So the way we get to that, we press OK. And we scroll down to entry driver 1. So press OK to confirm. And then it'll come up with two options of us. We've got driver 1, begin country or end country. So at this particular occasion, we want an end country. Mm-hmm. So we're going to scroll to end. We confirm. And then because we started in the UK is flashing with us at the moment.
Yeah.
So to find the country we want, we scroll up or down. And we come up then to whichever one we're looking for at that particular time.
And I presume they're in alphabetical order.
Yes, yeah. So we're running through. Oh, there we go. To France. We're going to confirm. And that's the entry stored. So what we've done now, we started in the UK, done our crossing, got the other side, driven up to our maximum hours, and then stopped and taken our break in the vehicle at that point. So we leave our card in the head at this point, put ourselves on break, have the remainder of whatever is required, and then the following morning when we're ready to go again, we're going to go into the menu system again. So we're going to press OK. Entry driver 1, confirm, begin country, confirm, because France was the last country we stopped at, it's going to give the same country.
France, yep.
So we're going to confirm to say we're starting at this point. So we've done all that. We're going to press the back button, come back to the main screen, and because it's been on rest with us for the night, we need to now change the mode switch to cross hammers to carry out our walk around check of the vehicle now.
Yeah.
So we do a walk around check and then drive on from there then to carry on our journey to wherever we're going. Yeah. And then when we do end up back in the UK, the same system again, we press OK, down into vehicle, entry driver 1, sorry, not vehicle, confirm, begin country. So we're going to end now, don't we? Because we're back in the UK. So we're going to confirm end, get our country, and then as we run up, find UK, confirm it, and then we're back in our country and press the back button to carry on from there.
Okay.
Got that?
I think so.
Good man. So if we put a bit of speed on it now, travel time. So I've got some speed on the screen now. So we're on drive now because the vehicle's moving. Now when the vehicle is moving, I have got access to another menu. Now lots of new vehicles have got this information on the dash for us. So if I push the arrow down on the main toggle, it'll give me my total driving and my total brake of what I've accumulated up to that particular point. And then we've got the void in number 2 as well. So that'll give us that information. So if we've been driving 4 hours, 4:15, whichever
So if I'm not
case
quite sure when my break is due,
we can scroll that and it'll give us the information up there. Okay, but bearing in mind, all the digitals will give us a warning after 4 hours and 15 minutes.
All right.
To tell us you're due for a break. So it's giving you a 15-minute call, if you like, beforehand to say you need to think about taking a break, mate. So get the vehicle over.
And then at 4 hours 30, my maximum.
It'll give us another warning at that point again. And it'll keep repeating that warning every 15 minutes until you have actually stopped and taken your break. Okay. So if I go back from that screen and we come to a stop again. So I've got my main drive screen on at the minute, which is our mileage and time and speed if we were moving and whichever mode we're on at a particular time. So if we scroll down 1, what it's giving me then is my totals for me as the driver at that point. So whatever I've done current week and previous week and so on, and obviously as we run along. So number 1, total driving to that point on the top one. Scrolling down to the next one, we've got the 2 thin lines, which is the fortnightly driving. So how many hours can we drive in a fortnight? Can you remember?
90.
That's it. So that'll count last week and obviously our current week, working up to the maximum of what we can do there. So we're aware of how many hours we've done to that point. Then we've got the 2 thick lines, which is giving us our cumulative break. So whatever break we've got in the bank to this point will be there. And then down to the next one, which will give us our total of whatever mode we're on the main screen. So scrolling down from that point, it'll give us the same for driver 2, even though we haven't got a card in. So it'll never show the fortnightly drive at that point.
Right. Yeah.
But we're not particularly worried about that as a single driver. Then scrolling down is confirming then the VDU of what is done so far, so the drive and brakes and so on that is got of that particular one. So it's just confirming the head unit itself, if you like. Then coming down again is giving us the other information from that point, time and date, and so on, until we come all the way back round on itself to the main screen.
It's only the first few I'd be interested
in. The only one you're
in,
interested in is the main screen, and if you scroll down one, is the second screen. From there, to be honest with you, we're not worried about it. But that'll give you, so if the boss phones you up and goes, can you run back out to X? Then you can check down your forklift drive and you can say, well, actually, boss, I've only got 11 hours spare, so I can only do that particular job for you rather than the one you want me to do. We confirm from there. Okay with that side of it?
Okay with that.
Right, so as we've just closed down in the UK now, Malcolm, what we're going to do now is take our card out. So by getting the card out, we press the eject button, and it's writing all the information out back onto the card. So when the card gets ejected, all the data is on that little gold chip on the back of the card then. So it's confirming how we finish in the UK, so we're going to say yes. Just finishing off all the details now, putting it onto the card. The next thing is going to ask us, do we want to print out? So we don't really need one, do we? Because we're aware of what we've done.
Can you just remind me when I do need a printout?
If you're stopped by DVSA,
right,
or if we lost, stolen or damaged card.
So that's the process at the beginning and end of the day.
That's what we did earlier on.
Yeah.
So it would be the same reason then.
Okay.
So it's telling me now, do you want to print out? So we're not going to bother on this occasion. So we're going to say no to it. Out comes the card. Now we've got our card back, so we're going to keep it in a safe place. How often do you think we need to get the data off this particular card?
I think the driver card is once every 28 days.
That's it. So we'd have to make sure that we download it every 28 days.
28 days.
As long as we've used the card in that period.
Yeah, so if I haven't driven at all during that period,
we don't need to download because there's nothing to take off the data.
That makes sense.
And don't forget the employer then needs to have a download available for us to be able to download the card.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's the end of the digital then, Malcolm. Any other questions?
Only one. If I was held up on the motorway or something like that, with my analogue card, I'd get to a place where I can stop, park, and then I'd take the card out and I'd write on the back the reason for the delay.
So you're doing over our hours now?
Yes, I've exceeded my driving time.
So very similar.
To get to a safe place.
What you would do would carry on driving to the next nearest safe place to stop, pull into the place, park the vehicle up, take a printout, and then write on the reverse of the printout.
All right.
Driven over my hours,
Just the same then,
so
really?
exactly the same, but it's on paper rather than on the chart then.
And then again, I'd keep that for 28 days before
and we'd
I
hand it back in then.
Yeah.
That's it. I personally make a log in my diary as well. So if any issue came of it, I've got it back in my diary as well, just to confirm. Okay?
Thank you.
Hi and welcome to Understanding Manual Entries. This video is going to demonstrate how you can enter a manual entry into your tachograph. However, please bear in mind that not all tachograph vehicle units are the same, and you might want to gain further guidance from your supervisors. Digital tachographs are devices that record the driving time, speed, distance, and other activities of drivers of lorries, buses, and coaches. They are mandatory for vehicles that fall under certain regulations. Manual entries are a way of recording activities that are not automatically captured by the digital tachograph, and by making manual entries on a digital tachograph, you can demonstrate that you are following the rules on driving time, breaks, rest, and working time, and avoid penalties for non-compliance. These rules are designed to ensure road safety, fair competition, and the health and well-being of drivers. They are important for staying compliant as a driver because they ensure that you have a complete and accurate record of your daily and weekly activities, which can be checked by enforcement authorities. On starting your shift, you will need to make a manual entry for your last shift and at what time and mode you ended that shift on. Firstly, let's switch on the ignition. Insert your driver card into the vehicle unit slot 1. You will now notice the display showing Welcome with the local and UTC time. The display will then show the last card withdrawal time in UTC. It will then ask you the question to add a manual entry. Ensure it is on Yes and confirm by pressing the OK button. It will then display the next question. Is the end of shift the 9th day of the 9th month at 1500 hours? You can change to No by pressing the toggle down button. You can then confirm your answer by pressing the OK button. The display will be showing you 2 dates and 2 times. We then want to change the second time to 15:30 hours. We do this by pressing the up button to advance the time forward. Remember, if you go too far forward in time, just press the down button to move the time backward again. Once the display shows the correct time, confirm the time by pressing the OK button. You now need to select the mode for the work you are performing at that time. You do this by pressing the toggle down button until you see the correct mode symbol on the display. Once the display shows the correct mode, confirm your answer by pressing the OK button. The VDU will now ask you again, is the end of the shift the 9th day of the 9th month at 15:30 hours? You can change the no to yes by pressing the toggle down button. And again, confirm the question when on yes by pressing the OK button. It will then display the next question. Is the end country on the 9th day of the 9th month in the UK? Confirm your end location by pressing the OK button. This then completes the first part of the manual entry procedure. Now we start on the second part of your manual entry, and that is your start of shift. Your display should be showing the next question. Does your shift begin on the 10th day of the 9th month at 0700 hours? The shift start date and time always defaults to the card insertion time. At this point, we need to set the time to your shift start time. We do this by pressing the down button to move the time back to your actual shift start time. Remember, if you go too far back in time, just press the up button to advance the time forward again. Once the display shows the correct time, confirm the time by pressing the OK button. It will then display the next question. Is the begin country on the 10th day of the 9th month in the UK? Confirm your begin location by pressing the OK button. You now need to tell the VDU what you were doing from that time you started shift to the end of your first period at 06:30 hours when you started other work. The display will be showing you 2 dates and 2 times. You need to change the second time to 06:30 hours. We do this by pressing the up button to advance the time forward. Remember, if you go too far forward in time, just press the down button to move the time backward again. Once the display shows the correct time, confirm the time by pressing the OK button. You now need to select the mode for the work you are performing at that time. You do this by pressing the toggle down button until you see the correct mode symbol on the display. In this case, you want to select the POA mode, represented by a symbol with the box and a line through. Once the display shows the correct mode, confirm your answer by pressing the OK button. The time on the display will default to the end of the last period entered. The display will be showing you 2 dates and 2 times. You need to change the second time from 06:31 hours to 0700 hours. We do this by pressing the up button to advance the time forward. Remember, if you go too far forward in time, just press the down button to move the time backward again. Once the display shows the correct time, confirm the time by pressing the OK button. You now need to select the mode for the work you are performing at that time. You do this by pressing the toggle down button until you see the correct mode symbol on the display. In this case, you want to select the other work mode, represented by the crosshammer symbol. Once the display shows the correct mode, confirm your answer by pressing the OK button. You will now notice the display asking the question, do you want to confirm your manual entries? If the manual entries that you have entered are incorrect in any way, select No when asked to confirm and repeat the procedure. If the manual entries that you have entered are all correct, then check the display shows Yes and confirm your answer by pressing the OK button. You have successfully completed your manual entries to start your shift, and the tachograph is now in normal operating mode, and you can select the mode that you want to record from now. Thank you for watching this video